Welcome to Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
What a wonderful Disney month. The magic is back, the parks are open, and Disney has been dropping news almost every day.
This month, we filled the news wrap-up full of tips for heading back into the parks.
Let's check it out. Come on into the parks with us.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure at your pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
Hi folks, I'm TC.
And I'm Amy with the Disneyland Beat. Our first tip is if you have to park at Mickey and Friends, get there early. There have been some backups getting into the parking structures. It seems they're trying to keep everybody spaced out, so a few times there have been some long lines trying to get into the park.
Another tip is be ready to be out in the sun and do a little bit more walking than you might be used to. Especially if you park at Mickey and Friends, you're going to have to walk into the park as the parking tram is not in operation.
Of course, make sure you have a reservation in addition to your ticket. The reservation calendar is not sitting static at a certain period, but rather days become available on a rolling basis. So 60 days out, new days open up. Currently, days are available into July.
Also, be sure to notice that there are two reservation calendars, one for one Park-A-Day tickets and one for Park Hopper tickets. The demand has been high, but not as high as people thought. Yes, lots of days are selling out, but it's not happening instantly.
Nonetheless, be sure to keep an eye out and book your days 60 days out from your visit so you get the days you want. The website is back to being fast again, and remember, this is just for reservations. You can buy tickets at any time.
If California opens fully June 15th, as Governor Newsom has proposed, capacity will increase, and when out-of-state visitors are allowed to visit, demand will go up. Walt Disney World has continued to slowly loosen restrictions with temperature checks being discontinued, and they have announced that the Boo Bash, an extra ticket after-hours Halloween event, will return in the fall.
Disney has said that new annual passes, or what might now be called membership offerings, will be forthcoming by the end of the year, but that could very well mean New Year's Eve 2021. We don't think anything will be available until the fall at the very least.
Due to social distancing, most of the lines inside the park are a lot longer, with some starting in different places, but they move a lot faster. Nonetheless, getting on a ride can be a little bit tricky, and you're not going to be under shade, so make sure you brought that sunscreen.
Crowds seem to be increasing, and it seems likely Disneyland is operating at 25% capacity at least, which, to be sure, is still tens of thousands of people. In general, pinch points both inside and outside of the parks can get a little bit crowded, and the entrance and attraction lines can seem long, but overall, it still feels pretty roomy inside the park with lots of quiet areas.
Disneyland still has a lot of attractions closed, and it's not signaled when that might change. A few are listed as under refurbishment and may reopen soon, but we think others are closed due to staffing issues and also to help maintain social distancing in the queues around the park.
Because lines are so long, the park will occasionally close a line until it's able to process more guests. This might be why they've added a virtual queue to the Indiana Jones Adventure, which has been filling its own line, and Munch of the Jungle Cruise queue as well. The Jungle Cruise is currently closed for refurbishments.
The virtual queue for Indiana Jones is going to work differently than the one for Rise of the Resistance. Rise still has boarding groups available only twice a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. The Indiana Jones virtual queue will only go into effect when the line is seeing high demand, probably when the line is to the point that it's going to start spilling out into Adventureland. And then instead of closing the line, they will just activate the virtual queue.
We think it's a great way to deal with the overflow traffic, and we expect to see more of it, especially on attractions with limited queue space and high demand. Of course, it's different than Fast Pass. Disney can't upcharge for it, but of course, we haven't seen what ticket prices might be like moving forward either.
Several queues are spilling well out of their normal areas. The Haunted Mansion line is winding around the Garden District of New Orleans Square, as is Pirates, and Roger Rabbit's line is out and about Toontown, and when it reopens, the Matterhorn won't have enough room for its queue.
If you want to ride Peter Pan, head towards Snow White's Wishing Well. But if you want to ride Snow White's Enchanted Wish, the line is stretching towards the hub on the Fantasy Fair side of the castle.
And we think DCA might use the virtual queue as well. Of course, we are only 3 weeks away, folks, from Avengers Campus opening and the new Web Slingers attraction debuting. Excelsior, it's really exciting.
This month, our on-the-scene reporter Damien is reporting from Disneyland, and this month we asked him to focus on getting some tips and insight for you from inside the parks. Damien, how's it going?
It is amazing, it is magical, and it is emotional, Mouseketeers, to be back home here at Disneyland. Today, I'm gonna give you guys 10 really magical tips to help you enjoy your visit here at the Disneyland Resort. Your first tip is to make sure you have a reservation along with your ticket. If you do not have a reservation, you will not be able to get into the park. Be sure to get to the park at least an hour before the park's open, especially if you park it in the Mickey and Friends parking structure, and to give yourself enough time to get through security. You have the Mickey and Friends option, and you have the Harbor Boulevard option to get through security. So, hey, you have multiple ways to get inside of the park. Unfortunately, the lockers are still not available at the parks at this time because they are high-touch areas. So, hopefully, later on this year, the lockers will be open. Disney has social distancing markers all throughout the park, so please pay attention to the social distancing markers and be sure to listen to your fellow cast members. Familiarize yourself with the mobile app, because this is the only way pretty much you'll be able to order food here at the Disneyland Resort right now. Another tip for you guys, Mouseketeers, is that there are no fast passes either on here on Batu or over at Disneyland. Do not drink from the water fountains, especially here on Batu. You have creatures living in those water fountains right there. It's just much better. You just use a water filtration system. You know, use a water bottle to get your refill your bottled water. Go get a free cup of water at a quick service restaurant. You know what? You can find these tips and other fun tips and other fun adventures on my channel, Damien Does Disney. My final tip for you today, Mouseketeers, is just to have fun. Just have patience and just enjoy your time here at the Disneyland Resort.
Thank you so much, Damien. Folks, we put Damien's Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description. We need help getting him tickets purchased so he can continue to report from the parks. We're trying to get him in there at least once a month this summer, so if you can afford to donate, it would really help us out a lot. Thank you.
Here's a tip we have for you. Bring a phone charger or a fuel rod for which the machines are working, because you're gonna need your phone the entire time. In addition to making your reservation, boarding groups, and virtual queues, all dining transactions are taking place via mobile order.
Of course, some rides have been updated with new effects like Haunted Mansion and Snow White, and we did a video about that recently. It's been great. Little things like Roger Rabbit's articulated mouth are working again on his ride, and lots of beautification around the park. It really adds a lot to the experience.
A few new restaurants are reopening through May. The Paradise Garden Grill opens this week. The Alfresco Tasting Terrace is opening May 20th exclusively for Legacy Pass holders and their guests. Online reservations will be available May 18th.
The Blue Bayou is reopening, and when they do, you'll be able to purchase alcohol. They will now be serving delicious hurricanes. I haven't had one of those since the last time I was in New Orleans. It was so good. The classic In-Ride restaurant is opening May 27th with online reservations available May 18th.
Over at the hotels, Napa Rose, the Storyteller's Cafe without character dining at this point, and the GCH Craftsman Bar will all be opening at the end of the month. And speaking of the hotels, the Paradise Pier Hotel is taking reservations and will reopen June 15th. We hope that the Disneyland Hotel, which is still closed, will follow suit.
Disneyland has some cool new merch. They've got some leopard print shirts, we really like the Crocs on those, and some Droid Depot themed clothing, and there's some new Pirates of the Caribbean Treasure Room Funko Pop that we're just in love with, and some cool new Pride Month themed merch, and some really stunning lightsaber hilts from Luke, Leia, and Rey that you can purchase at Doc Ondar's.
Well, it seems like slowly the park is settling back to normal operation in a lot of ways. People are going to the park, riding rides, cast members are getting back to work. It's really great to see.
And while we may have a long way yet to go, we've come a long way.
We can't wait until we can see you in the parks.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.
See you real soon.